Good afternoon. The Democratic Alliance has lodged a complaint with the Public Protector against Deputy President Paul Mashatile and ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula in Cape Town. The party says this is for their role in what it describes as State Capture 2.0. This follows weekend media reports of Mashatile living a life of luxury in opulent residences owned by individuals who have allegedly benefited from state tenders, while the party says Mbalula was loaned 3 million rand by the Chief Operating Officer of the National Lotteries Commission. SABC News reporter Bulelani Phillip has more.
Welcome to a cold and wet weather here in Cape Town. We're standing outside the provincial office of the Public Protector, where the DA is laying a complaint against the Deputy President, Mr. Paul Mashatile, as well as ANC Secretary General, Mr. Fikile Mbalula. Of course, we've seen in recent days reports that Mr. Mashatile actually benefited from some of the state capture benefactors. And on the other hand, Mr. Mbalula is alleged to have received a 3 million rand loan from the National Lotteries Commission. The DA calls this state capture too. DA National Spokesperson is Soli Malatsi. Soli, thank you so much for your time. Your argument is that this is state capture too. Why do you say that?
Well, it has all the characteristics of state capture. And the reason we are saying that is if you look back into what Judge Zondo said in terms of the state capture, is that there was an unethical axis between business and government in the form of business officials who were providing lots of enticement and financial backing and resources to high-ranking politicians in government in the ANC. And what we are seeing now with these allegations is there are two common things. They affect senior political office bearers in the ANC. They also affect a senior leader in government in the form of the Deputy President. And at the root of that is the potential conflict of interest that exists when a high-ranking government leader has their lifestyle allegedly financed by people who are doing business with the state, and even worse, people who have received and won tenders under a dead cloud and continue to underperform in the tenders that are allocated, most notably Edwin Sodi.
Now, in the case of the Deputy President, which legislation are you going to rely on with regards to this complaint? And are you sure that this happened while he was a public representative?
Yeah, there are two things that we are seeking the investigation by the Public Protector to pursue. One of them is when a senior government leader, when a senior government leader and the Deputy President of the country is at the center of allegations that involve people who are doing business with the state, it faces a potential conflict of interest. It exposes a potential contravention of the Executive Members Ethics Act. And it is on that basis that we want this investigation done.
Why didn't you approach perhaps maybe the Ethics Committee as well in Parliament?
Yeah, and before we get that, on the issue of the timeline, I think we know very well that Mr. Mashatile has been a senior member of government at provincial level. He's also been a member of parliament and the chairperson of a parliamentary portfolio committee. So over the course of time, he has occupied very senior positions in government at different times. And what we want investigated is, since the emergence of these allegations affect a position that he currently occupies, there is potential that he continues to receive these benefits that would then compromise his ability to be neutral in dealing with matters of the state. And secondly, the Deputy President of the country is the leader of government business. There is a higher threshold in terms of the conduct that is expected on them. On your secondary question regarding pursuing a parliamentary process in terms of the executive, the members' ethics, I think that is a channel that is in the pipeline. We are not ruling it out. It is a channel that is in the pipeline. We are also in the background looking at the history and the record of disclosures by Mr. Mashatile from the time that he was a member of the provincial legislature and MEC, and throughout his time as a member of parliament, so that we can begin to dig into his disclosures and what they say in terms of these revelations and the highly problematic relationships he have with some of these business people that are doing business with the state.
Notwithstanding the affidavit that's before the courts that alleges that Mr. Mbalula received a 3 million rand loan, he flatly denies that he did receive that amount of money. I mean, your complaint here, will it consider that perhaps maybe it's just an accusation from one party, but the other is disputing it?
That's why we believe in Chapter 9 institutions, for them to be able to provide the clarity and to get to the bottom of these allegations as to their credibility or otherwise. But what is important here, Bulelani, is that there is a key element in that the National Lotteries allocation of funds to non-profit organizations that are doing a lot of good work to uplift communities gets compromised by these relationships, that some of the people that make applications and get those monies cheat genuine organizations that are doing a lot of good work to fight social ills, to fight gender-based violence, to take care of disabled people and youngsters. And when you have this kind of instance where funds somehow find a back channel into the pockets of politicians, we are compromising the very needy South Africans who, if they get allocated those funds, they'll make a difference in their lives.
Some may accuse you that you're playing politics as we head to next year's general elections. How would you respond?
This is about accountability of government leaders and senior political leaders. This is the pursuit of good governance, and this is us upholding our responsibility to respect the Constitution and using the Constitution and all the laws of the country, including state institutions, to protect the state against dodgy relationships between politicians and business.